I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
As the Nationals are a strike away from franchise history and some World Series history. As Hudson tries to close it out. It'll be another 3-2 pitch to Michael Brantley. Hudson sets. The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! Swing and a miss! Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books! The celebration is on! The Washington Nationals are the world champions!
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Are you kidding me?
Do you believe it? Good morning. Welcome to the Wacky Wednesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. As I put my glasses on, Snowman's here with you, and man, we got a packed show for you today. Cole Johnson's on the way. We got the whip around to kick things off. We got a few bronze-sexual confessions today, and Cole will have his during hour one. At the top of hour two, I'll be joined by Travis Demers via tape, because we taped the conversation yesterday. You'll hear his thoughts on the Portland Trail Blazers, and he's agreed to be one of my NBA insiders. So I'm very excited about that. So we'll welcome Travis Demers. We'll talk about Nick Saban. I don't know why, but we'll talk about Nick Saban saying the mega conferences are here to stay. Tiger Woods claps back at live players. We'll do that during hour two. And of course, the trade rumors persist about one Jimmy Garoppolo. Y'all gonna have to quit. Just quit with the rumors. Well, before I go off on that, let's do what we usually do, and let's kick the show off with the whip around. I'm going to go out of order here from what my executive producer put together, and I'm late with the audio, so y'all going to forgive me. It's, man, what you can do on a full night's sleep. Here we go. Let's start our whip around. Baker Mayfield said, quote, "This is going to be a special one." He eyes the Panthers' week one showdown with the Cleveland Browns. I have a question. Is he even going to start that game? Because supposedly it's going to be an open competition. And I say supposedly for a reason, because I'm not buying it. I think Matt Rule is going to do the stupid thing and let Sam Darnold start. I could be wrong. But I don't trust either one of them. NBA Coaches Association names Golden State Warriors Ron Adams the winner of the 2022 Tex Winter Assistant Coach Lifetime Impact Award. And to have an award named after one of the best assistant coaches in NBA history, i.e. Tex Winter, who was the assistant coach for the Chicago Bulls for many, many years. Ron Adams, congratulations to you, my friend. Mike Trout left the Angels game with upper back spasms, and we don't know how long Trout is going to be out. He's been regarded as the best player in the game right now, which prompts a question. When is Mike Trout going to leave the Angels and join a team that actually wants to compete for a World Series championship? And with that, I welcome Cole Johnson as we're inside the whip around. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great, man. Had some breakfast, got my meds in me, got a full night's sleep. I'm rolling right now. I'm having fun.
Good.
But I'll pose this question. When is Mike Trout going to grow a set and leave the Angels?
Well, okay. He might pull the same move that Damian Lillard of the Trailblazers is doing and claim loyalty and say, this is the team that drafted me. I grew up on this team, in this organization. This is my family. I want to retire as an Angel.
Yeah. Let's go inside the chat. A.L. Evans joins us this morning. Salute to you, my friend. Sig Diggy is with us. Says good morning, everybody. And happy Wednesday, folks. Yes, it is Wednesday. Can you believe it? We're at the mid part of the week, and one of my wound care nurses made me a promise today.
Mhm.
I'm going to order some Starbucks goodies, and she's going to go get them for me.
Oh Lord.
Well, I don't have a car right now. My wife has the car. She's gone
Of
to
course.
work, but
Right.
by the end of this fall, we'll have 2 new vehicles. I'm putting it all the way out there.
All
I'm
right.
dreaming big, and I'm doing bigger. Let's continue. Jake Paul sets a goal, and the goal is to be the light heavyweight champion.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's exactly what I had
I'm
planned
that-
when I saw that.
Thank you. See, this is why Cole's the executive producer, and I appreciate him so much.
Clown show.
ESPN host apologizes after airing fake Ja Morant quote about Michael Jordan.
Yes. So
I'll let my thoughts are whoever that host is should be fired immediately. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, this is an executive producer issue and problem. So there was a fake quote that was attributed to him, Mr. Morant, and it made its way on the ESPN's Just This In. Now, this Just In, I know you're saying, well, that's that new Max Kellerman show after he got kicked off the First Take, right? Or, I mean, after he found his new vehicle past
First Take.
Right. But no, he wasn't sitting in the host chair today. No, unfortunately, and you'll be very disappointed, sir. Sitting in that host chair is Jacoby and Jalen and Jacoby's own David Jacoby. And he sat in the host chair, and he was joined by our favorite, Kendrick Perkins.
I quote my partner. Please open it for me.
Okay. Quote.
Kendrick Perkins, how can I say this succinctly? Oh yeah. You tripping.
Close quote. And the tripping continues. Okay. So on the show Monday, the fake quote alleged that Morant said that Jordan would be considered just another superstar if he were to be playing today. Now,
grief.
Jacoby apologized on Twitter afterwards, and he also apologized to Morant and to Taylor Rooks. And the reason why he apologized to them was because Mr. Morant was on Sits Down with Taylor Rooks, her interview platform that she has, that she interviews many NBA stars. Now, the apology reads as follows.
Oh, boy.
As the face of this, and this is coming from Jacoby, as the face of this, I want to do 3 things. 1, apologize in general. 2, apologize to Taylor Rooks and Ja Morant. And 3, give a big shout to Matty Ice for watching from what it looks like a liquor store.
Morant liked Jalen and Jacoby.
I know, man.
But Jacoby, wait a minute.
Why?
I'll play
Why?
EP for him.
Please.
I'll play EP for a moment.
Why?
Jacoby, why? I mean, your show, Jalen and Jacoby, is the face of that network. Mm-hmm. Screw all the rest of them. It's the face of that network, and it's the face of ESPN Radio, and you're going to do that?
You're a stupid dumbass.
That's the truth.
I'm sorry.
And I don't want to say
I no longer like Jalen and Jacoby because Jacoby is being stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Unfortunately, I agree with you. And I like him.
I like him too, but to do that, should be fired immediately. Side note, Evander Kane has agreed to terms with the Edmonton Oilers on a 4-year, $20.5 million contract on Tuesday. The contract has an average annual value of $5.125 million. He tallied 17 points during this past playoff run for the Edmonton Oilers that saw them run into a brick wall called the now Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche.
Well, I guess
God, I love the fact that the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup and they won it on the road. They won it on the road. Yeah. Absolutely love that. But for Evander Kane, get your money, bro.
Yeah,
you earned it. You brought the Edmonton Oilers to the Western Conference Final. You deserve every bit of that back, my man.
Let's see if you can bring them further.
Yeah.
So the Houston Texans introduced a new battle red helmet, and it did so on social media.
Of course. Why are we not surprised? Do I want to see this helmet?
Not really. It's a
you know what? Y'all are going to see me do this live because, like I said, when I had technical problems yesterday, I shouldn't do this.
Oh, Lord.
But I'm going to do this. It's a good thing I have eye protection gear on right now in the form of my glasses. I don't know where my sunglasses are. They're probably in the car. See, I don't know. I'm putting all my dreams out there. I'm going to find me an SUV this fall. I'm going to pay for it in cash, and I'm going to have like 2 pairs of sunglasses up in the dashboard. So whenever I do drive somewhere and drive my wife somewhere, I'm going to be that cool cat. Especially when I pick up my children. What the hell is that? I shouldn't have done that.
So you saw the helmet. Well,
red. Albert Pujols celebrates with Nelly after a 685th career homer. I'm praying that Albert this year gets to 700.
I hope he does.
I want him to get to 700. Albert's been one of my favorite players of all time.
Still is. He's still one of mine.
Still is.
And it was a wonderful moment. So the shot was basically a line drive, and it landed like midway in the lower section of the seats in left field.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pujols, as soon as he crossed home plate, locked eyes with Nelly, and Nelly was, of course, sitting right behind home plate, and both of them were geeked. And both of them give each other excited high five. And Nelly was eating it up like he was, you know, like how you get an autograph from a celebrity that you love, and it's like, oh my gosh, this person signed whatever.
Yes,
Nelly had that type of giddy feel about him, and the same thing with Pujols, because it felt good to him to actually see someone like Nelly recognize that wonderful achievement. And speaking of that achievement, you have Bonds, you have Ruth, you have. Let me see if I can remember all of them. You have Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm. Griffey.
Oh, well, he's past Griffey now. I'm trying to think.
Oh, he's past.
Yeah.
He passed the kid.
Yeah, he passed the kid. And I thought he had to pass one more, but it might be just those 3 before him. But still, 685, and he's one of the most class of acts in Major League Baseball history. Kudos, my man. And yes, I'm with my man, Snowman. We want you to get to 700 before you hang it up.
We want to see Pujols get to 700, because if Pujols get to 700, I'm going to be giddy.
I am too.
Watching his entire career.
Yeah.
I'm still giddy about Barry Bonds.
Same.
Loved watching him play. Listen, Major League Baseball, would you put the home run king and the hit king in the Hall of Fame and get it done?
Please.
Hashtag Bonds for Hall of Fame. Hashtag Rose for Hall of Fame.
And
I watched the game where Pete Rose broke the all-time hits record.
I did too.
Still want to put him in a Hall of Fame. Listen, do you know how many criminal acts were committed back in the 30s and 40s, and y'all didn't do anything about that? Does the name Ty Cobb mean anything to you?
Too many to mention. Yeah,
like I said, does the name Ty Cobb mean anything to you?
Mm-hmm. And he's in the Hall as we speak.
And he's in the Hall. So if he's in the Hall for some of the criminal acts he did, why won't you do the same for Barry Bonds, who has the most home runs in history? And why don't you do the same for Pete Rose? And for that, and for that matter, why don't you put one of my favorite pitchers in the Hall of Fame? You know him well, Roger Clemens. Yeah. So stop it. Stop the cap, will you please? That's our whip around. There we go. We're going to get caught up here and take a break. And when we come back, rumors, and more rumors. And I'm sick of them all. Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
And they give those guys a little extra weight. Roger Craig, still on his feet, still running. What a run by Roger Craig. You'll never see a better one than that. From 46 yards. He has that thing of getting those knees high and keeping the shoulders low. And he makes every team look like they're bad tacklers. Watch the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then, at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take on a tackler.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
You want to join fun like this? Well, join us live every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. Official SIT Morn is the ID that you need to catch us and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course now TikTok, where I will be posting daily sports trivia questions. So give us a follow, Official SIT Morn on TikTok. And with baseball being the sport that's in season, I'm going to do a lot of baseball trivia. So follow us on TikTok. Let's go to the chat. Sick Dicky says, a liquor store? Yeah, a liquor store. A liquor store. And he had a great question. Did he apologize to Michael Jordan as well? He better, because you had no business making that kind of quote anyway. Darnell Solins, the playmaker himself, and the Playmakers Blog Network says, good morning, fellas. Hey, Playmaker, want to put this show on your network? Why not? Let's throw it out there. And I'm in negotiation with another network to pick up the show. Sick Diggy. Barry Bonds will always be the man. Too many detractors still claim his record was tainted. It was not. Only thing clear is the latter group's denial of truth. Love it. Love it. Oh, by the way, I hurt my eyes looking at that battle red helmet.
I was the goal was
My
to do the same thing.
eyes hurt.
My goal was into that introduction do the same as the Jake Paul one. I wanted to read it, give it a pause, and then go to the next subject because I figured if you saw the helmet, you would have your eyes bleed. Mine did. And I actually root for the doggone team.
I'm glad I'm wearing my glasses this morning. Snowman didn't. Roger Clemens made it known he doesn't care about being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's made that known.
Yeah, but it's like
it's still an honor that's due him.
It's like what John, the perfect description of that. It's like what John Elway said, and I think he was interviewed in 1993. You know, because he had 3 trips to Super Bowl and he had 3 spectacular failures while getting there. And a reporter asked him if winning a Super Bowl really mattered to him. He says, "Nah, not really." Then 4 years later, he wins one, and he says, "Well, of course, I said that because I just wanted to say the politically correct thing, but I'm a competitor. I want to reach the brass ring and get it."
And he got 2 of them, and then
he ended up getting 2 before he hung it up.
Rolled off in
So believe me, Clemens wants to be known as a baseball Hall of Famer. But
the man can come over the top with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. He can drop sidearm with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, he pitched for the University of Texas in an alumni game and was still throwing heat.
The guy is a competitor, and I know this more so than, of course, seeing him when I was younger and as the Red Sox pitcher and the Yankees pitcher and Blue Jays pitcher, and then he ended up being an Astros pitcher. You mentioned his stint with University of Texas. I knew this guy since I was 8, 9, and he is a Houstonian. So I got a chance to see him around the city. This dude wants to win anything. If it's tiddlywinks, he wants to win at it. So when he sees that somebody wants a middle finger him, he's like, okay, well, I'll one up you and say, I don't want to belong at a place who doesn't want me. So it's coming from that type of aspect. It's sort of like, okay, I'm the competitor. You're not going to beat me, and I'm going to show you can. That's the energy of Roger saying, I don't really need to be in the hall and forget it.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, I have a candidate for the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. His name is Duncan Keith. And after 17 seasons, most of those spent with my beloved Chicago Blackhawks, he has retired. He played his last season with the Edmonton Oilers, playing 64 games, tallying 21 points. He played for the Blackhawks from 2006 to 2021, amassing 625 points in 1,192 games. He played his 1,200th game on November 1st versus the Seattle Kraken, and later became just the second player in NHL history with 2,000 blocked shots. And, oh, by the way, not 1, not 2, but 3 Stanley Cups. 2010, 2013, and 2015. What made 2015 so special for Duncan Keith? Not only was he the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, but there's a word you can insert in that sentence: unanimous. Because when I heard Gary Bettman say the unanimous selection, talk about rarefied air. So I applaud Mr. Duncan Keith and the career that he had. And Toronto, you have a candidate for the Hall of Fame. Let's make it happen. Okay.
Really sick.
What did he say?
What if Clemens does get inducted, but Mike Piazza has to induct him?
A sharp bat.
So I guess Piazza's supposed to stand at the podium, introduce him, and then throw the sharp bat at Clemens as he walks to the podium. Is that what you're saying, Sick? Oh, Lord.
Of course, that's what he's saying. See, Sick Diggy's awake and going already. All right.
Yes, this part of the this portion of the program is sponsored by the Snowman's going to cook and throw middle fingers.
Jimmy Garoppolo to the Seattle Seahawks or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or any other team, not going to happen. A former NFL running back said the 49ers just need to keep Garoppolo, let him play, and see what happens. I agree. So all these rumors need to just stop. Stop the cap, please. Because Garoppolo is going to ball out, have a great season. There you go. Stop the cap, please. Just stop it. Because if they put Trey Lance on the field, that's a detriment. And nothing against the young man, but
None.
That's a detriment to the team, its growth, and trying to pick up on the momentum of a 6th seed getting within 2 minutes of an NFC championship.
He's not ready.
It'll be another 2 seasons, in my opinion, before Trey Lance is ready, because that's the number of seasons he missed playing football at North Dakota State. And by the way, for me, Trey Lance wasn't that impressive at North Dakota State. Does he have the tools?
Yeah.
Does he have the tools? Of course he does. He's in the NFL. Does he have the tools to lead this 49er team? No.
At least not now.
He's not ready. He's just not ready. I'm sorry for all you Lanceites that want to say, it's his time. It's his time. No, it's not. No, it's not. And as far as the Jimmy Garoppolo rumors,
I'm getting too old for this.
Just stop. Stop it. Stop the cap, please. And when Jimmy Garoppolo starts week 1 this year, all I have to say to you Lanceites is the following.
You can't handle the truth.
Ouch.
Period.
Ouch.
So shut it up, please. Just especially the rumor Jimmy Garoppolo to Seattle.
You for real?
Oh, hold up. Whoa. Wait a minute.
You heard what I said.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
They are in a rebuilding program. There's no way they want to have Garoppolo play for the Sorry, go ahead,
and they don't have the bleeping money.
Yeah.
All that money sailed away with Russell Wilson, you idiots.
Good Lord. I'm sorry. I interrupted your train of thought.
Jimmy Garoppolo to Seattle.
Right.
And I finish with this.
Bitch, are you for real?
Bonus.
Bitch, please.
Okay. 35 after the hour. And it's Wednesday.
Oh, it is.
We have to do one of these.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
This one's for my partner, and all I got to say is one word. Cook!
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Woosah.
Anytime he begins with the woosah, he's about to cook, folks. So, Bronzexuals, beware.
You all are going so ham.
Oh, God.
So ham with these. We want to down Michael Jordan and we want to denigrate Stephen Curry stuff. That it just seems to permeate throughout your pores. It just seeps and leaps out of it. I don't understand why the hate is so great because you supposedly are backing a guy who ESPN wants to claim is the second greatest basketball player of all time. So why the hate? I don't understand it. Or maybe I do.
Uh-oh.
And the reason being, it's oh Lord, okay. It's crap like so. The utter blasphemy that you see me put up. Back in May, we were hearing stuff as Giannis lost by 30 in the game 7, and KD got swept the first round, and Embiid choked in front of a home crowd, and Jokic got bounced the first round, and Steph has been carried all playoffs long because, ladies and gentlemen, because of all of what I just said, LeBron James is still the best basketball player in the world. Goodness gracious.
Okay. This is where I play EP for my partner. Hey, Bronze Sexuals. All you guys are tone deaf.
Perfect. Because my partner is absolutely 1000% correct. You all are tone deaf because you want to not have anybody have any sort of shine. It doesn't matter who it is. And now I'm starting to see it doesn't matter the era. It does not matter the area. It doesn't matter if it is this one. It doesn't matter if it's the area previous to it because you talk ill about Kobe. You're scared to talk about Shaq because you figure Shaq is going to beat you behind, and he probably could, even at 50.
Mm-hmm.
You claim that every single player that came before the 2000s were plumbers, school teachers, milkmen, and mailmen. Oh, you don't believe me? I saw this meme by a bronze sexual where basically it was a picture of Jordan and the caption above it read, "The champion of milkmen, plumbers, and school teachers."
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
The champion of milkmen, plumbers, and school teachers.
Bitch, are you for real?
This shows the fact that Google is not your friend. It shows that not even schooling is your friend. It shows that not even reading is your friend. Well, I've seen it through all of your chicken scratch that you call writing. That just speaking is not your friend. Oh, what did you say, Sam?
English, do you speak it?
Because many of you clowns don't. For example, we talked a little bit about this Monday. I had another conversation with a bronze sexual.
Oh, dear God.
And while at the same time perusing social media, and when I broke this down yesterday, when we talked about Michael Jordan's last shot as a Bull, that came out of the mouth of a card-carrying, joy-sucking out of joystick, knees begging and praying to be on the ground, mouth praying to be wide open, eyes wide and bucked, looking up to the tatted up idiot that is LeBron James, Bron sexual.
Oh, jeez.
And I asked this simple question, and that question was, quote, You all claim that LeBron James has a high basketball IQ. Well, if that is the case, why is it that you want to clown somebody who seems to show and demonstrate he has a high basketball IQ? Close quote. The answer was the question was too high in intellect for the bronzexual. I still haven't heard him answer it yet.
And you won't either.
And I won't. And I wasn't expecting an answer. But that is how
you're not going to get an answer to that logical.
No,
you're not going to get an answer to that logical question because bronzexuals aren't logical. We know that.
No, they're not. They're not at all. They're not at all.
I mean, when does logic and bronzexual go in the same damn sentence?
That's a wonderful question. But then,
no,
I peruse social media again.
There's more?
Oh gosh, yes, there's more. Because there was a video that I saw this past weekend come upon my timeline.
No.
And the video was titled, and I'm saying this verbatim, quote, 5 reasons why LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, fire emoji, strong arm emoji, close quote. Now
I saw that piece of grade A homogenized Holstein bullshit.
Now let's take apart all of these idiotic things.
Can we please? Can we please?
The first one was multiple teams. Now, why would you want to compare LeBron being on 3 and yes, Jordan played on 2, and that actually is something that you compare? I don't quite understand. And of course, you all hold up as a badge of honor the first man to claim finals MVPs on 3 different teams. And I'm thinking to myself,
here we go.
You're a stupid dumbass.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't. This is something that you want to compare? And then the next one is
there's more.
Yeah, the caliber of competition was greater for LeBron than it was for Jordan because
that's some bullshit.
In the laundry list of what Jordan had to go through versus what LeBron went through first. So of course, LeBron couldn't get past the Celtics. And then he finally got past the Celtics, but had trouble getting past the Mavericks. And then after he got past the Mavericks and won his first chip, he couldn't get past he won against the Spurs, but couldn't get past them. And then after he couldn't get past the Spurs, then of course he ran into
Stephen Curry.
In their minds, the most stacked team in NBA history in the Golden State Warriors. But I will say this, and I know I'm climbing on my partner's brain when I say it.
Say it.
You haven't looked at many of these rosters that came across in the 60s nor the 80s, because I guarantee you those rosters were more stacked, even with the run on the Warriors, than the 2017 and 18 Warriors were.
1986.
To me, the
Boston
best team I've ever seen.
Celtics.
And that team was stacked because a former finals MVP was a 6th man on that team. So don't give me the, Jordan, because LeBron, because he went with this team that was stacked against them and he beat them. They had the nerve to want to go and get more talent to stack against them and beat him. You idiot. LeBron went to the Cavs, and supposedly you all talk about Kyrie Irving as if he's the next Magic Johnson. This guy supposedly is talented beyond belief, and Kevin Love was supposed to be the guy who was a better version of Chris Bosh in Miami. So
Lies.
So this super team crap just misses me 100% with that. Meanwhile, Jordan, all he did with the merry men he had was before Pippen, he struggled against the Celtics. Who wouldn't? The only team that didn't was the Lakers. And the Lakers had a pretty good squad too. Let me hip you to something, Bronxexuals. Jordan's teams back then were not nearly as stacked as those 2017 and 18 Cavaliers were. They weren't. Proof. You tease about Jordan not making it past the first round. Meanwhile, your Yo Kang got swept and gentlemen swept on those same 2017 and 2018 Cavaliers. When Pippen gets on board, you want to say, well, Jordan didn't win a series until Pippen was his teammate. The very first series that Jordan won as a Bull in the playoffs, he averaged 45 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Pippen, he averaged 10 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds.
And didn't start until game 5.
So riddle me this, Batman, as I borrow a phrase from my beloved partner. Pippen was the magic elixir to Jordan.
Bitch, are you for real?
Now, I'm not casting aspersions on Pippen. I'm just saying Pippen wasn't, how can I put this? Pippen wasn't Durant in his prime in 1988. But you all think that he was. I had no idea why, or no, I do. Your brains are deformed, and it's not even been developed even at 35. It's just ridiculousness like that I just don't understand. And then, of course, another reason why LeBron James is better than Jordan. Well, of course, Jordan got surpassed by LeBron on the all-time scores list. Jordan is 5th, and LeBron is 2nd. Well, you know something? Bravo. Wonderful. Great.
Yep.
I'm happy for you. You know something? Kareem did it too, and Kareem is the only man that I will put alongside Jordan as being the greatest to ever do it. Because no guy, including Jordan, had a career better than Kareem. I dare you to look it up and research me and come back to me and give me a name that had a better career than Kareem's. One, anybody, any era, give it to me. You ain't gonna find it.
I find no lies.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find it. So kudos. Kareem scored more points than Jordan. Kobe scored more points than Jordan. And Kobe is a cold man. I love you, Kobe. But I'll say this. Kobe was a Jordan clone.
And he probably admitted it.
And he darn near admitted it every single time you interviewed him after he was retired. And the one you just passed last year, Bronxexuals, Karl Malone passed it too. Is he one of the greatest to ever play of all time? Oh, I'm sorry. I've ignored somebody in this conversation. Bishop Bullwinkle. Is Karl Malone one of the 10 best players of all time?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
All of those men have scored more points all time than Jordan, but I guarantee you none of them, for the exception of Kareem, would be put on the same caliber as him. None of them. Another one.
Oh, God.
LeBron is a better all-around player than Jordan. I will refute this by how Ray Allen did it. So there was I love this because I think this is brilliant. There's this footage out there where Allen walked up to a LeBron fan, and I don't call him LeBron sexual because he wasn't belligerent. He just was just adamant about the guy that he thought was the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy said, LeBron's greatest of all time, and so Allen, not being confrontational, he just wanted to feel him out. He said, "All right, let me ask you these questions: Is he a better 3-point shooter than Jordan?" That guy said no. Now, I will say this for you Bron Sessions who are watching. Yes, LeBron has made more threes than Jordan. That's why he was able to surpass Jordan with less shots, because he took and he made his fair share of more threes than Jordan did.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the fact that he has struck more and more and more threes, he's on par, probably even has a better percentage than Jordan. Okay, fine. I will give you that. But the guy said no. He said, is LeBron a better free throw shooter than Jordan? No, the guy said. And that's proof. Jordan averaged 83% from the line for his career.
And 83 was the lowest he ever shot in a season.
The next time LeBron James shoots 80% from the free throw line in his 20-year career would be his first.
I was going to complete that.
And he asked, Ray Allen asked, is he a better dribbler than Michael Jordan? The guy said no. And he's correct. And Ray Allen says, do you know who it is? The guy said Jordan. And then Ray Allen shook his head and walked off. I will add one more to that equation, and that is, if he's better all around, he'd be better with handling the ball. Because if I'm not mistaken, Bron Sexuals, you can celebrate now because LeBron is the greatest of all time at turning the ball over. There is another man in the 75-year history of the league that has turned the ball over more than LeBron. You doubt me? Look it up. Not a man alive. And he might get the 5,000 before we turn the page to 2024.
Research is your friend, Bronsexual.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It most certainly is your friend.
Research aside of Google is your friend.
And then, of course, the last one.
Oh no.
The stats overload. So, of course, LeBron is the first NBA player in history to amass over 35,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. Again. But if you think that makes him the best ever, you are out your doggone mind. We are talking about an era where we saw a man complete 3 and 4 years a season triple-double. You know the man I'm talking about. The one that you all were clamoring to have play alongside LeBron last July, and now we can't wait to get rid of him this July. The one that if he took 100 shots, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn 90 times. The one that if he was sitting in that car in Las Vegas 26 years ago, he would be missing. He'd be hitting buildings instead of Tupac because he'd be 52 and alive today. That's how bad of a shooter Mr. Westbrook is.
And still dropping rhymes that'll make you smile.
Yes. See, this is how ridiculous you all are, Bronsexuals. Now, this one actually made me smile, though.
Okay.
Because you got Bronsexuals out here, and this how they are. They are so hungry to compare and contrast Jordan that they will have they'll have kindergarten pictures of each other. one aside from the other.
Oh, God.
Jordan at age 5, LeBron at age 5. And bronzesexuals, get ready to slurp because the heat's about to come. Oh, did I say come? My bad.
Yes.
And so is Yo Kang in Europe. Well, I won't say where.
In your face. I'll say it. In your face. Keith Jackson, after a Bo Jackson run against Alabama in 83, goodbye. In your face.
You will have bronzesexuals say Jordan at age 5, 0 elephants.
Oh, God.
LeBron at age 5, 1 elephant. And because of that 1 elephant at age 5, LeBron James is the greatest of all time. That is how ridiculous you all are. And the reason why I created this platform.
Ridiculous is sound.
Yes. And I wanted to sound that ridiculous because that's how they sound. The reason why I created this segment is because we hear crap like this from you all 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Oh, and before I wrap this up, Yo Kang had to weigh in on the Brittany Griner situation.
No. Oh, God.
He was on the shop. He, in all of his regal, well, if you want to call it regal, glory. And he said, quote, if I were Brittany Griner, I don't know if I'd be proud to be an American. Close quote. I'm not going to address you clowns here. I'm going to address Yo Kang because he's looking court-jesterish yet again. Mr. James, you didn't speak about this issue for 3 months. Brittany Griner was arrested in February. You didn't speak about it until May, and now you want to take the cause up right now. And she would be proud to be American. The woman traveled over to another country and broke the law.
Say that again, please, for those of us in the cheap seats at old Chicago Stadium.
The woman traveled to another country and she decided to break the law.
One more time for those of us in the cheap seats at the Summit and the Astrodome and Old Soldier Field.
Brittany Griner, yes, she's gay. Yes, she's a woman. Yes, she's black. She traveled to another country and she broke the law. I mean, it's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
She broke the law. That has nothing to do with being an American. That has something to do with being, what's the word? Intelligent.
Hold up. What's that word again?
Intelligent.
That's what I thought.
And unfortunately with you, Mr. James, you have proven once again
that you ain't.
That you're not being so intelligent. And I'm so sorry, sir. You're absolutely acting just like the rest of those bronzesexuals. Get out of my face, dummies.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty.
That's for all you 100 millions followers.
Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzesexual Confessions.
Hour number 2.
Hold it. You can take I got the opening for hour 2 already set, and we got 4 minutes before before we hear from Travis Demers. And let me tell you, Travis Demers is a cool cat. I'm gonna love having him, Bill Schoenig. I reached out to Tim Roy, the voice of the world champion Warriors, Chuck Swirsky from the Bulls. I'm reaching out to every NBA radio play-by-play guy that I can reach out to get them on this program. We got 4 minutes. Let's go. Let's go through the comments here. My partner stepped away for a moment. Let's go through the comments here. Sick Diggy says, "How do you like your flesh, Christopher Dietz? Medium rare or well done?" It's going to be rare and bloody. Good choice. Jordan didn't start in the league till he was 23. LeBron came in at 18, and Jordan took 2 years off. Oh, I can't wait to have Dietz at 10:05 because he's going to exact his pound of flesh, and I'm going to let him. Dietz says, "Wait, what? All around player? How many all defensive teams for Jordan and how many for LeBron?" I'll answer that question for you, Dietz. 10-1. Oh, and by the way, Jordan was a defensive player of the year. The year was 1988, Bronze Sexuals. A11's in the house. Salute at Sick Diggy. Thank you. LeBron has played almost 2 decades in the league. Jordan had to go to college where he won a championship. March 29th, 1982. AB Media 83 in the house with us. Good to have you. He said, all I have to say is Bronze Sexuals is too much curry. Jordan, not even the same sentence. Yeah, you got that right. Dietz says more to come at 10:05. Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready because when I bring Dietz aboard, it's going to be hellacious, to say the least. Greiner's biggest crime was flying to Russia while most of the other WNBA players chose to stay at home. Yep. Eagles Elite Podcast with the one and only Cool McCain. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, sir. And Playmakers Blog Network's his favorite segment. Oh, we got more, Playmaker. We got more. 120 seconds before you see an interview I taped with Travis Demers yesterday. And boy, oh boy. Hey, where'd you go? Cole, where'd you go? Well, we'll get Cole back after I play this. 60 seconds away from it. If you haven't done so already, when you check us out on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and just follow along with us because we've had some great numbers for a channel that's growing. We've had some absolutely terrific numbers, and I want to thank everybody. For doing this, for following along with us, and for hanging out with us, and for those in the chat hanging out with us there as well, trying to get everything timed up here. And I believe it is time. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
There they go. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball deep left field. Hooking down the line. Hooking. There she goes. A grand slam. The Blue Jays have done it again. Steve Pearce with a 2-out grand slam to beat Oakland 8-4. Another walk-off home run after Morales did it last night. Home run number 9. His sweetest as a Blue Jay in 2017.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait!
Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Man, it is crazy. The NBA free agency is crazy, and that's just being nice about it. And one of the teams that got in on the fun is the Portland Trailblazers. And I am happy to kick off hour 2 of our program, welcoming Travis Demers, the radio voice of the Portland Trailblazers. How are you, my friend? Great to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you too, Brian. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, how'd y'all snatch GP2 from the Golden State Warriors? We'll just dive right in and start there.
That's a great question. I mean, the Warriors, there's no secret that the Warriors are spending boatloads of money, right? Mm-hmm. And they are so far into the luxury tax. But when you have an owner like Joe Lacob, who seemingly doesn't have an issue with that, they're going to spend. But I think the Blazers just had an opportunity to give them more than the Warriors could give him. And he has a familiarity with Dame. He was on the training camp roster a few years ago, so he has Obviously it was a much different team then, but he does know Dame, and I'm sure there was some, behind the scenes recruiting going on there, and an opportunity to have a major role with the Blazers. And it's not that he didn't have that role with the Warriors, but I think he'd have a bigger role with the Blazers.
It is going to be a bigger role with the Blazers. Of course, GP2 was the defensive specialist for Golden State. How does he fit in the backcourt? You mentioned familiarity, but given this Blazer roster right now, how does he fit in the backcourt with Damian Lillard?
See, the question is, does he fit in the backcourt at all? Because that's, one of the things that we talked about all spring and into the early part of the summer is, how do the Blazers add length? How do they add wingspan, right? Because one of the issues that has been a major issue for this team has been length. So last year when you had Norman Powell starting at the small forward, and he's 6'4", he's a terrific player, but he's not a small forward. Right. So, at the time, interim general manager and now general manager Joe Cronin talked quite a bit about adding length, adding size, certainly adding defense, because the last 2 years, the Blazers have been not just one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA, but one of the worst defensive teams statistically in NBA history. So you got to be better there. And obviously, you'll have, Gary Payton II. He's going to be a major improvement defensively, but also with Jeremy Grant. So I would assume, that might be a word I shouldn't use with the Blazers because it seems like things change all the time, but I would assume that GP2 be coming off the bench with Anthony Simons and Damian Lillard starting. And then you've got a number of guys who can play the 2 or the 3, whether it's Josh Hart, Gary Payton II, even though he's 6'3", he does have the ability to defend bigger guys. And then you'll see Nasir Little playing some small forward. So I think knowing the defensive issues that the Blazers have had, I love the addition of GP2. And also he played at Oregon State. His father played at Oregon State. He played at Oregon State. So Beaver fans are happy about that. One of his college teammates, Drew Eubanks, is back with the Blazers this year. And if I can share one quick story about GP2.
Yeah.
Last year in the preseason, we were down in San Francisco playing the Warriors. And my broadcast partner, Michael Holton, and I, we get in an elevator in the hotel. And in walks GP2. And we knew him a little bit, so we start talking to him. And he was saying how he had lived in that hotel for more than 6 months because the Warriors signed him towards the end of the season before. And he's just like, man, I've been living in this hotel for 6 months. I'm really hoping I make the team. I don't know what's going to happen. And he ends up getting cut and then signed again. And knowing what he's been through, going through training camp with the Blazers and being with the Warriors and the Wizards and a number of other teams, I'm just so happy for him, man, because he is such a good dude. And I'm so happy that he's caught on. He got the bag and he got it here.
Yeah, and it's a great addition for the Portland Trail Blazers, as you said, needing to add length and improve their defense. Their defense is definitely going to improve with GP2. Let's go in the middle. How important was it for the Blazers to keep Jusuf Nurkic?
Huge, because you look at the market for centers out there, and there really weren't a lot, right? Obviously, DeAndre Ayton is still, as we talk here, he is still, he's still with the Suns, right? He still hasn't been traded somewhere. He hasn't been involved in any deals yet. So if he was the big prize in the middle, you look at the other players that were available at the center position, whether it be Dwight Howard, who still hasn't been signed, or JaVale McGee, or DeAndre Jordan, or Andre Drummond. A lot of those guys are towards the end of their careers. They have a skill set or two that they are terrific at, but they don't have a lot of versatility. Nurk, at his age, with his relationship with Damian Lillard, the two of those guys together in the pick and roll game, he really is a critical part of what this team does. His shooting percentage was better last year. He has been a good rebounder, and the consistency was there. So to see Nurk back, I don't know how, if they would have traded him or if they wouldn't have re-signed him, that they would have been able to get somebody comparable to replace him.
Talking with Travis Demers, the radio voice of the Portland Trail Blazers. Their home, of course, is the Moda Center. You got to tell me, because I've only seen it in pictures and seen it on television. How loud does that joint get?
Man, it's crazy how loud it gets in there because here in Portland, and not to discount the MLS, right? The
Right.
MLS is very popular here,
Mm-hmm.
but the Blazers they're the show, man. They're the show that everybody wants to come see. They've been around for 50 plus years. They're the heartbeat of Portland, and people call Portland Rip City, and it's because of what Bill Schonely, the original Trailblazers broadcaster, just said one day, and it's stuck. And Rip City is Portland. Portland is Rip City. The Blazers are Portland. It all comes together. And I've been in every arena in the league, and there are some places that have surprised me with how loud they were. Like Memphis, that place got a lot louder than I thought it would. And this past year was a lot louder than it had been in the past.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There's just something special about Moda Center. And it's every fan base, every team says, well, our fans are the best fans in the NBA, or our fans are the best fans in the NFL, or whatever. But I truly believe that with the Blazers, because they are always there. They always show up. They're always loud. They're smart fans. And they are passionate, because this is a one-horse town. Again, with no disrespect to the Timbers, it's essentially a one-horse town, and the Blazers are it.
How loud? Okay, you got to tell me, since you've been in every arena in the NBA, how loud was the Chase Center?
Man, the Chase Center. So I wasn't there for a playoff game, right? Most of the games that I called there were when the Warriors weren't very good. I have called playoff games at Oracle, and that place was insane. That was unbelievable, man. And
did it feel like the place was shaking?
Yes. Totally.
Did it feel like did it feel like the place was shaking? Because Blazers and Warriors played in the Western Conference Finals 3 years ago, and I know both places were off. The charts. I listened to the radio call for that entire series, but did it feel like Oracle Arena was shaking, especially during the playoffs?
Oh, it totally did. I mean, that building, because of how old it was and the way it was constructed, and yes, old buildings have character and new buildings have all like the fancy stuff. And Chase Center's awesome. It's a really cool building, but there's just something about the old bones of Chase Center, of Oracle, that made that place just vibrate. It rocked, man. I've been in some loud places. I was in Seattle for the Seahawks 49ers NFC Championship game. It wasn't the Beastquake game, but it was the game where Richard Sherman knocked the ball away from Michael Crabtree in the front of the end zone.
Yep,
that place, it was crazy there. Oracle is just, for a basketball arena enclosed, that was something special.
The loudest place I've ever been in was Chicago Stadium.
Oh yeah,
during the Jordan era. Boy, you want to talk about a place that was shaking. You mentioned it with the construction of first of all, it was Oakland Coliseum, and then they tore it down, rebuilt it, became Oracle Arena. Chicago Stadium, with all the brick in that place, no noise was getting out and no noise was coming in. So if you weren't a part of the 18,000 plus inside Chicago Stadium, you could say the same about the old Memorial Coliseum in Portland. And the old Memorial Coliseum only seated 12,000, but it made it feel like double that.
It totally did. And I wasn't, so I moved to Portland in 2003. Moda Center opened, I think, in 95, but we played a preseason game in Memorial Coliseum a couple of years ago. And I mean, that place was packed for a preseason game because, like you said, it only seated 12,000. And even for a preseason game, it was loud. So I can just, picture, I actually have this right behind me that I just put up on my wall of Clyde and MJ from the finals in 92.
Two of the greatest to ever do it.
That's right. I mean, that's got to go up in here. Just picturing Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, and those teams playing each other in the finals, man. I wish I was here for that.
Man, it was crazy. That's all I could say. It was nuts. And now you have a Portland Trailblazers team rebuilding, retooling, getting ready for another run. And I hope this is a playoff run for these Portland Trailblazers. I would love to see it. And I'd love to see them challenge the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, because both the Moda Center and the Chase Center will shake.
Yeah, there's no question. There is some work to do. And, Joe Cronin has talked about that. He said, we're happy where we're at, but we're not going to stop trying to make the team better. And that's, fans look at the offseason and say, okay, great. We added Jeremy Grant. Didn't give up a whole lot to get him. Added Gary Payton II. Some other little pieces here and there. Shaden Sharp, who unfortunately got hurt. So we still don't know what to make out of him. But where is the starting small forward? Where is this other big piece? And that was one of the things that Joe Cronin talked about last year at the trade deadline. Once, C.J. McCollum and Norman Powell and Robert Covington and Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell. Am I forgetting about anybody else that got traded? There's a long list of guys that got traded. He said this is going to take, 1 or 2 cycles. This is a 6-month to 2-year process to get the team where we want it. So, it's a good start, but there's still plenty of work to do. I think they are a playoff team, but there's still work to do.
Your favorite moment as the voice of the Portland Trail Blazers so far? Pick a couple.
All right. The first one, Game 3, Western Conference semifinals 2019 against the Denver Nuggets.
Is that the 4 overtime classic?
4 overtimes. And that game was unreal because every time you thought, okay, there's, it's a 4-point game with 30 seconds left in overtime. This is over.
Right.
Somebody would make a big play. Jamal Murray made a couple of big plays for Denver, and C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard made a couple of big plays. And then Maurice Harkless gets hurt, and Rodney Hood comes in and just in the 3rd and 4th overtime, he was unbelievable.
Who would expect Rodney Hood to come in and do that?
That was his shining moment as a Trailblazer, man. And to see him get hurt the following year and tear up his Achilles. And Hoodie is such an awesome guy too. And we were all so sad for him because he kind of got the short end of the stick in Utah and then in Cleveland, and here he comes, and he's going to be a big part of the Blazers' future. And that Achilles pops after what we saw in Game 3, man. He was awesome in that game. Dame hit a buzzer beater at Oracle against the Warriors.
Remember that?
Yeah, right after Christmas in 2018. He hits it wasn't a buzzer beater. It was like last second, I think 7 or 8 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And then KD gets a wide open shot at the free throw line and bricks it, and the Blazers won. So not only was it a Dame make, but it was a Durant miss. That was pretty awesome. And then Carmelo Anthony had a buzzer beater in Toronto. That was pretty unforgettable.
Travis Demers, the radio voice of the Portland Trail Blazers, talking all things Rip City Rhapsody, and I'm going to have him on as often as I can throughout the course of this season and hopefully beyond. He will be one of my Trailblazers insiders. Man, it's a joy to talk to you. It's fun talking to you, and I look forward to many, many conversations throughout this coming season about the Portland Trailblazers.
Hey, Brian, the pleasure is mine. You call me anytime.
All right, Travis Demers joining me here on the program, and when we come back, there's a confession that needs to be made. Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Cole will rejoin me in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
I Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
And they give those guys a little extra weight. Roger Craig, still on his feet, still running. What a run by Roger Craig. You'll never see a better one than that. From 46 yards. He has that thing of getting those knees high and keeping the shoulders low. And he makes every team look like they're bad tacklers. Watch the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then, at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take on a tackler.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Gee, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Are you kidding me?
Do you believe it?
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back indeed. You're inside of hour 2 of Snowman in the Morning. Wonder where my partner went. He probably had to step away to go to get into a meeting. Well, Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers of all time, claps back, and he starts with this.
I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position. Some players have never got a chance to even experience it. They've gone right from the amateur ranks right into that organization, and never really got a chance to play out here and what it feels like to play a tour schedule or to play in some big events.
Wow. When one of the greatest claps back like that, you listen, but he wasn't done. He added this.
Who knows what's going to happen in the near future with world ranking points, the criteria for entering major championships. The governing body's gonna have to figure that out, and some of these players may not ever get a chance to play major championships, and that is a possibility. We don't know that for sure yet. It's up to all the major championship bodies to make that determination, but that is a possibility that some players will never ever get a chance to play in a major championship, never get a chance to experience this right here. Walk down the fairways at Augusta National. I mean, that to me, I just don't understand it.
And speaking of not understanding it, he finished with this.
I just don't see how that move is positive in the long term for a lot of these players, and especially if the LIV organization doesn't get world ranking points and they don't, and the major championships change their criteria for entering the events. It'd be sad to see some of these young kids never get a chance to experience it and experience what we've got a chance to experience, and walk these hollow grounds and playing these championships.
Tiger Woods clapping back at the LIV players and how he feels. And let's get some perspective on this. We got 9 minutes, so let me bring Chris Dietz in on this. On this, Dietz, give me your thoughts on what Tiger Woods said in talking about the folks that have turned their back on the, as Tiger Woods said, turned their back on the PGA Tour. What do you think?
It's inevitable. when you treat your people the way the PGA tries to treat their people, they try to spread it around to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody knows no one's tuning in to see the 350th ranked person. They're tuning in to see Phil Mickelson. They're tuning in to see Justin Spieth. They're tuning in to see Rory McIlroy, the top level guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to pay them the same amount as the guy who finishes at the very bottom, well, those guys, the top level guys, are going to say, we don't want to play this. We don't want to do this. It's not worth our time. Guys don't want to play. Guys don't want to play 3 or 4 tournaments a week. You know, they don't want to have to go play a pro-am on Wednesday just to make up money.
So
they want to play their one tournament and get it over and get paid for what they're doing. That's what it is.
So how long do you think this is going to last? Do you think this is permanent? Do you think this live group is permanent?
Oh, this is just the beginning. This is just the trendsetter.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
And there's no putting the genie back in the bottle for the PGA.
How long do you think this has been building?
It's been building for a couple. I mean, Phil Mickelson has been on this for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when Phil Mickelson came out and said this the first time, I believe it was about 3 or 4 years ago when he started this. He was mocked profusely of, oh, this is Phil. Phil is just Phil. This is Phil feeling sorry for himself, and he was thrown under the bus.
Mm.
And credit to Phil Mickelson, he was like, no, I'm right, and stuck with it, and we'll see where this goes. But
so who else do you think will defect from the PGA Tour? I mean, that's a top player. Who else do you think will defect? Who's defected so far? How about a recap? Who's defected so far to this live organization?
I believe Spieth is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Phil started it. Those are the guys I know and the guys I follow.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I'm not much of a PGA guy. I'm not much of a golf guy.
Mm-hmm.
I played 18 holes once and I got about 6 holes in and I was like, all right, are we done? I was like, all right, we're doing this is the same thing over and over again. Like we could have accomplished this in about a half hour and it took us about 3.
Yeah.
But
with Tiger clapping back, it was
Tiger
a Pizzle in the house with this, and he also says Ricky Fowler will be the next to jump.
Oh, Ricky Fowler will go, and anybody who can make money on their own, anybody who can go out and get their own deals, their own sponsorships. I mean, you think about a guy like Bubba Watson could be on that list.
Right.
Anybody who can go out and get theirs on their own. Like I said, they don't want to go and have to play a pro-am just to make up for the money that they're leaving on the table.
Philip Redden in the house with us with the salute. Salute to you, Philip. And you're right. The top golfers or any golfers don't want to just go out and play a pro-am midweek to make up money that they lost during the tournament. This thing's going to grow, and it's going to grow big time, and it's going to grow fast.
And it's something that the PGA has to have a come to Jesus moment where they say, are we going to feed Are we going to feed our top players, or are we going to keep spreading the money and lose our top players?
Well, we lost a couple of them so far.
And like I said, I'm not much of a I'm not much of a golf guy. Like I don't even watch golf for the golfers. I watch for where the tournament's being played.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I care. I could care less about who's in it as long as they're playing on a nice course and there's a nice beach background. That's all I need to watch golf.
Well, they're in St. Andrews this week, and the tournament will start on Thursday. Deet's going to drop you down. Got Stacy Piedrahita coming in 180 seconds, but we'll have you back at the top of the hour. And boy, I'm just going to allow him the first half hour of hour 3 to exact his pound of flesh, talking about bronze sexual. So we'll take a break. Deets, I'll drop you down, and then Stacy Piedrahita will join me. Can't wait to have you back, bro. All right. Stacy Piedrahita will join me in 180 seconds. Yep, Nurse Namastasia is back. And for that, we'll take a break, and then we'll come back with Stacy. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
LeBron James is trash as a basketball player.
Wow.
I will say that one more time.
You said it so easily.
I've been saying it for 20 years.
It just came fluidly out of your mouth, like it just flowed like waters of the of a fall, just dropping off a cliff.
Oh, you mean this sentence right here?
Quote.
LeBron James as a basketball player is pure, unadulterated trash and has been for 20 years.
Close quote.
One more takes like that. Join us each day at 8 a.m. Eastern.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. Snowman back here with you. And here's my nurse. Neuro Nurse Namastasia has joined me this morning. We're going to talk a little mental health because with all the discussions that have been tabled about mental health and the people that go through it, we need to give them a voice. So we're going to give them two voices this morning. Hello, nurse, and good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I got a full night's sleep. I got some goodies coming to me a little later. I'm doing the show with everybody that's tuning in, including the Shady Sports Network. Sam joins us on Friday. I'm doing great, and it's great to have you along with us and to have you each and every week. I wanted to focus on mental health for our discussion this morning because you and I have talked about it a lot off the air. Of course, our podcast, Speaking Our Truth, and then the one I'm going to produce for you, and I can't wait to get that started, Nursery Rhymes. A little background on Stacy Piedrahita, aka Nurse Namastasia. 27 years she was a nurse, and she decided, the hell with it. I'm walking away and I'm going to heal myself. That's a tough decision for a lot of people, but for my favorite nurse here, she's like, the hell with it. And I think that's me in a nutshell when people kept saying, you need to find a real job in sports talk radio. And I said, the hell with that. I'm going to invent one. How important is it? I'll begin with this. How important is it for those who go through so much with mental health to have a voice? How important is that?
It's everything. It is, bottom line, it's everything. If you could fix your own mental health by yourself, you could solve literally majority of your effing problems.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's so true. I had to attack it beginning 2017. Now I know I take a lot of medicine and a lot of pills, but I'll admit this on the air right here, right now. I don't like taking pills. I don't. I mean, my wife has said the same thing. We're trying to fix our health naturally.
Amen.
And fixing your mental health naturally, that's huge. But a lot of people don't have a starting, and you mentioned this to me, and I thank you for mentioning this to me before I went in for surgery. A lot of people don't have a starting line.
They don't. I needed a 2x4 multiple times before I finally got that spark in me that said, wait a minute, I can heal myself. Hell with everyone else. I'm game. Show me the path.
Yeah. Well, how did your path start?
It's very ironic because tomorrow is my 4-year transformation day anniversary. You and I got the significance of the 14th. So for me, my journey started truly 4 years ago because no one knew about my trauma. No one knew about my mental health issues. No one knew about my PTSD. I kept that shit behind a locked door, a kingdom, the kingdom of isolation.
Right.
And my physical symptoms started appearing 4 years ago. It wasn't only in my head, it was now manifesting in physical. And I was misdiagnosed with multiple autoimmune, everything. And for the first time in my life, I was able to start processing and say, you know what? I did some of the shit. It's my fault for walking in some of the horse shit, which turns into glitter shit in my life.
Yep.
I had to hold myself accountable. And I connected with God that only I could understand in my head, no outside influences, just in my heart.
Right.
And then I realized none of it was my fault. And the minute I realized that I had to let go of what no longer served me because I was getting physically sick, that's when I started healing. I took accountability and I said, hey, a lot of this was my fault. And I was able to forgive that. And I feel that's the problem with people because they feel I can't forgive that person. It has nothing to do with the other person. Let it go.
Nurse Namaste.
Let it up and go.
AKA Stacy Piedrahita joining me this morning. We're talking about mental health and how you can heal yourself with your mental health and what the starting line is. And for me, my starting line was realizing that My daughter's no longer here. She died in 2015. Will I always remember her? Absolutely. Will I always think about her? Absolutely. And think about how she would be as a 9-year-old. She would have been 9 this past March. But also, it's like you said, letting go. And that's the toughest thing. The hardest thing to do is letting go. Why? Because you want to hold on to memories. You want to hold on to everything. And you want to hold on to things that you know you got no business holding on to. None.
Yeah.
And it's so tough to let that baggage go. I mean, as a natural response, we carry a lot of baggage with us. A
Human
lot.
nature.
Mhm.
Human nature. If you're human, you're carrying a shit ton of shit. You just
Yep.
don't want to own the shit
Exactly.
or
And
walk into shit.
I love it. I love it. And taking accountability is the easiest thing to say to do, but the hardest thing physically, mentally, and emotionally to do. It's
Mount
the
Kilimanjaro.
it's
It's like climbing the
totally.
damn mountain in your head that is so nope. Nope. It's
Mhm.
gonna knock you down every time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And every time you start climbing that mountain and you get a little further up each time, something just like ropes you like Spider-Man and yanks you down, and you're at the bottom of the mountain going, damn it, I gotta do this again.
And again. And
And
again.
again and again and again.
It makes it
Oh,
fun, Brian. It makes it fun.
it does. It makes it fun. It makes it challenging. And that's the thing that people have to accept, the challenge, the mental challenge of saying, you know what? I'm going to get through this no matter how many times I have to climb this mountain. And you and I said it off the air so many times before in our conversation. The first time is the toughest time.
Pull it off. Pull off the Band-Aid. That's why I'm a nurse. I know how to tell people to pull off the damn Band-Aid.
Yep. Yep. What finally made you decide to walk away? What was the last? I don't think I had a chance to ask you this. What was the last straw in your career as a nurse where you said, "The hell with it, I'm done"? What was the last straw?
April 6th of this year, when I was given a medication that could have killed me because they did
Mhm.
not follow proper protocol. And I looked at my husband and I said, he's watching me die. And that's when I said to myself, you just effed with the wrong nurse. You just crossed the line.
Mm.
And I did. It took all I had and I struggled for about 15 minutes. But I pulled myself out of the deepest pits of hell and I said, you're done. I'm done. And as soon as I was stable, because it was crazy,
Mhm.
I knew I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. And I'm going to trust my inner wisdom and my gut and that divine
Mhm.
intervention connection I have with God. And I said,
Mhm.
the hell with the rest of you.
Mhm.
Here I am.
Oh man.
That was it. That was
I
the camel. But I painted
that
that bitch in glitter
was-
and I'm riding it home.
There you go. I think for me, especially after I got out of surgery and I had to make extra trips to the hospital because, and I'm not afraid to share this, I've had to deal with nausea, I've had to deal with diarrhea, and I'm wondering how the hell am I going to eat and not be afraid to eat? It was my wife who spoke to me and said, "You're down to 208 pounds, and I can't have you withering away like that."
And you just beat cancer. If that's
Mhm.
as if that's not enough.
As if
Thank you.
that's as if that's not enough, I had some other challenges that it required 3 extra trips between April and May to the hospital. I haven't been to the hospital since almost Memorial Day weekend, and I'm not going back.
No.
I'm making sure I don't go back. But I couldn't be, for me, what finally clicked, I couldn't be afraid to eat.
No, that's not living.
I couldn't be afraid to eat. I couldn't be afraid to be myself.
Yep.
I couldn't be afraid to be myself.
Real quick, I don't want to get in trouble, but as a nurse, I have to point out, this is the nursing. This is the one professional person, the professional nurse. In a crisis, you need the Western medicine. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah.
But you can manage your symptoms if you have the tools at home. I'm not saying you have to have the tools in order to heal.
Yeah.
So Western medicine
have
is
to.
crucial.
You have to, because I take a digestive enzyme before every time I eat.
Yeah.
Boy, that's come in handy. It
has saved my life as well.
Has come in handy. Yeah. It has come in handy. Self-care is an important aspect of mental health care. Yes, it is.
That's it. Self-care.
The digestive enzyme that I take has really helped.
Yeah.
Drinking a lot of water has helped.
I'm proud of you. I'm really, truly proud
Amen
of
for the ice water that I have in here. And I go through 3 of these a day.
Proud of you.
I'm working my way back up to like getting a gallon getting a gallon of water to really not just flush me out, but just to keep me fluid and keep me going.
Keep that energy moving. Keep that cells nice and hydrated.
Absolutely. Gotta stay hydrated, especially since I'm on the air for 3 hours a day. We're gonna tape our first episode of Speaking Our Truth. We're gonna reboot it. We're gonna reboot it.
It's been 3 months.
It's been 3 months. I know I scheduled for 3, but I got a live stream coming with my friend Charles, so we're gonna back it up a bit. And I'll give you a time off the air where we tape and I get everything done, because my wound nurse is coming today. Then I got a 3:00 live stream with Dr. Charles Faulkner. But we're gonna tape our episode today. We're gonna speak our truth today. And anyone who's followed SDM Sports Network and Snowman Digital Media, that's where you'll find it. You'll find it on the Snowman in the Morning YouTube page as well. But we're going to speak our truth, and we're going to tape our first episode, and we are going to do it today. That's Stacey Piedrahita joining me as she does every Wednesday. Let's get our health in order, folks.
Please, number one.
Let's get our health in order. Thank you, my dear. I love you. Thanks for coming on, and I'll talk to you later.
See you today. Later. Bye.
See you today. Can't wait to tape Speaking Our Truth. Cannot wait to tape that. Let's go to a break. And when we come back, yes, I'm on my soapbox about one Roger Craig. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
And they give those guys a little extra weight. Roger Craig, still on his feet, still running. What a run by Roger Craig. You'll never see a better one than that. From 46 yards. He has that thing of getting those knees high and keeping the shoulders low. And he makes every team look like they're bad tacklers. Watch the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then, at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take on a tackler.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back indeed. Official SIT Morning is the ID that you need to get with us. And you can subscribe to us on the YouTube page, youtube.com/C/Snowman in the Morning 50. It's Snowman in the Morning 50. And also the new website is up. It's official sitmorning.com. And our shop is open. Got a few items there. You can follow. You can follow us there. You can. I'm sorry. You can shop there. We won't have Stacy Purcell this morning because of a doctor's appointment that she had rescheduled. Also, if you're feeling generous, you can help out the Snow Strong Carolina cause by hitting the PayPal. That's paypal.me/snowman2172. Also, you can become a patron. Go to patreon.com/SITmorning. That's patreon.com/SITmorning. Also, you want to play some prop bets? Go to monkeyknifefight.com. Use the code Snowman. You'll get a match on up to $100 on your initial deposit on up to $100. Man, all this is fun. I got Chris Dietz coming in 11 minutes. You know what? I think I'm going to speed things up. I'm going to get him in here because he said to me he's got not one, but two bronzexual confessions. And I want to let him cook. So we're 5 minutes away from the top of the second hour. Let's see. Do I do this one? Do I do this one? Or do I do this one? You know what? A little Hail Flutie will open hour 3, and it starts right now.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
3 wide receivers out to the right. Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it. Unbelievable. I don't believe it. Phelan is at the bottom of that pile. Here comes the Boston College team. He threw it into the end zone. There was no time left on the clock. The ball went between two defensive backs of Miami. Jack Bicknell is the only person over there on the sidelines. He couldn't get the headset off fast enough.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
I certainly believe it because I watched it. I watched that entire game. And then when Flutie hit Gerard Phelan in the back of the end zone, and Gerard Phelan's is forever going to be an answer to a trivia question, especially concerning that game, Hail Flutie. I couldn't believe it. I ran down, told my mom what happened, and she looked at me like I was crazy. I told my dad what happened, and he's jumping up and down saying, finally, a Hail Mary happened. Yes, indeed, it did. Here's Chris Dietz to help kick off hour 3. Good morning, Chris.
Morning, Snowman. How you doing?
Glad to have you back. And with what you told me yesterday, we're just going to dive right into it because Chris has a couple of his at the top of hour 3, and I have mine at the bottom of hour 3. So here it is.
All right. We have a lot.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
All right, Dietz, take it away.
All right. So the first one is I don't know if he's a bronzexual, but from the mentality, I can assume that he is. So I was on one of these Facebook sites, and there was a post where a guy said, where a guy made a statement, can we all stop slandering Kareem? And I posted a comment because I didn't know what the hell the guy was talking about. So I said, how can you slam Kareem? This is a guy who they changed the rules to stop him and they still couldn't stop him. How can anyone talk trash about him? So that was my comment. And I had another kid who addressed me by name and said, and I quote, how did they change the rules for Kareem? So me being me, I figured, all right, this is just, a youngster who needs a refresher on the majesty that is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I tell him about his time at UCLA where they changed the rules and they made dunking illegal. So Kareem created his own shot and became a master of it. Well, this guy proceeds to respond with, that was college. It has nothing to do with anything.
What?
And so that's when I started to be like, wait, let me be suspicious of this cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, first off, you had to go to college in those days. Second, it was where Kareem created the sky hook, which is the most indefensible shot in basketball.
Amen.
And not to mention, Kareem also used that to win not one, not two, but 3 national championships where he was Final Four MVP not once, not twice, but 3 times.
All three times.
And of course, by the end of this discussion, the other guy is nowhere to be found. Still hasn't responded to this day. Because that's what they do. They come in, they make a blanket statement.
Yep.
And then when their statement is blown up in their face, they just leave and they have because they have nothing to say left.
Right.
That's the typical interaction with a bronzexual.
Ain't that the truth? Didn't one of them find you with an exchange?
That was the guy. He kept tagging me and calling me and saying Chris Dietz, who cares about college? We're talking about pros. And I'm like, no, we're talking about basketball. College is part of college. Your college is part of it. And that's what these guys don't understand. And it said in Cole's thing, where they said, oh, Well, LeBron has gotten this far in his career. Jordan only got this far. That's because Jordan had to wait 4 years to get to the NBA. I mean, these people act like Jordan is not like Jordan wasn't good because he had to go to college. No, you had to go to college in those days. Mm-hmm. And not only did Jordan go to college, he won at college.
82 national championship.
Which leads me to my next bronze sexual who I have to throw on the list. And
oh boy, I can't wait.
And this is a known commodity. And if you're a sports fan, you probably know the guy I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to call him out by name because he deserves it.
Can I say
that is over at FS1.
Nick Wright.
The leader of the First Things First, Nick Wright. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying Nick Wright has done wonders for his career.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Wright is who we all aspire to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. He was a YouTuber. He had a YouTube show, was picked up by Colin Cowherd, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
As he joined Colin Cowherd's show, jumped onto FS1, and is now somehow the lead guy on First Things First. But the other day,
isn't that their early show?
That is their early show.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they trot Nick Wright out.
6 a.m. What are they? 6 a.m.
I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. I don't have cable, so I don't watch any of that crap.
Good answer.
But I remember I used to have, when I was working the bar and we were cleaning up in the morning, it was always on because we always had the TV on. But Nick Wright said something the other day, and again, I don't know Nick Wright personally. I don't know his background, so I cannot speak to his education level.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. He needs to get a dictionary and understand words.
Yeah.
Because he does not understand English words. And he uses them at inappropriate times. And I'm going to get the reason why the Fifth Down Sports Show exists. We have said this many times. The reason we do the Summer of Greatness is because words matter.
Yep.
The words you use matter.
When you're talking about words, this is a clip I have in mind.
English, do you speak it?
There you go.
Yes. And so Nick Wright actually said this live on the air. So they were talking about LeBron versus Michael, and of course Nick Wright is a LeBron. He's a Cleveland guy. He grew up in Cleveland. He worships the ground LeBron walks on.
Of course he does.
Excuse me. And so they got through this whole thing, and Chris Broussard was finishing his diatribe because he was talking about Jordan. And he said, this is why Jordan is the greatest. And Nick Wright said, and I quote,
oh boy,
would have been the greatest, but he quit twice. I want everybody to hear those words again because the words are important. He said after Chris Broussard said that's why Jordan's the greatest, he said would have been great, but he quit twice. Nick Wright, when you use the words would have been, implies that he was never great. Jordan has been great since 1986. I mean, he was great before that, but my definitive moment of when Michael Jordan became great was when Larry Bird, after Jordan scored 63, said, quote, God played basketball today disguised as Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
That meant he played great. That meant he was great. So you cannot use the words would have been because he was great the whole time.
Yeah, he was.
Would have been means you never got there. And Jordan got there. That's the first part. That's the first part that he needs to understand about words. The second word he used is it does not apply to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never quit. Never quit. He never quit a thing in his life. Michael Jordan retired from basketball. Excuse me. Michael Jordan retired from basketball. But people like Nick Wright don't want to remember how 1993 went down. So let me explain it in the easiest terms possible.
Please do.
1992, Jordan wins the NBA Finals. 2 weeks later, he's in Barcelona with the Dream Team. Now, most people look at the Dream Team and they say, oh, they just went there and they killed everybody. You need to watch, you need to watch The Last Dance and the one where they describe the Dream Team, and you need to watch the NBA TV documentary on the Dream Team. Because in those documentaries, I believe it's Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley said, those were the hardest practices anyone has ever been through because nobody wanted to lose.
Sure did.
Practice for those guys was harder than the games. I believe it was Charles Barkley again. He said, when we beat up on each other in practice, we knew none of these guys could touch us. Games were an off day for us. But when we practiced as hard as we could against each other, and it's in The Last Dance where they
practices were insane.
Michael would take them Michael would take them personally. So this is what Michael did. Again, played in the finals. 2 weeks later, he's playing in Barcelona for the Dream Team. Then he comes back, plays 1993, plays the regular season. Gets back to the finals, and I believe it's before game one. Before game one of the finals, his father is murdered. Not his father died. Not like Brett Favre, where he's talking to his father in the hospital. No, his father was taken from him.
It's murdered. Absolutely.
Michael goes out, plays the rest of the year out, plays the finals, wins again. So what does he do? He says, I'm going to honor my father. My father used to watch baseball was his favorite sport. I'm going to honor my father and give baseball a shot. That's why he retired the first time. He didn't quit. He was dealing with everything. You look at today's players. Today's players can't go a week without taking a game off.
Right.
Michael basically had. Everybody cried about the COVID tournament and about we had to bounce back. We had to come back so early. It took so much out of us. Michael played the finals, played the Olympics, and went back to the regular season. And then had all of that plus the emotional break. There's no question anybody in their right mind would have done what Jordan did. So Jordan goes and plays baseball. And people can say what they want about his baseball career. Again, go to The Last Dance and take you're not going to take my word for it. You're going to take Terry Francona's word for it. Yes, World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox, was the manager of Michael Jordan. And he said in that documentary, Michael was getting the hang of it. He said with the amount of work Mike put in, once it clicked for him, he would have been set. He wouldn't have been a star, but he would have figured it out. That's Terry Francona, a guy who watched him every day. So we can sit here as fans, and we can watch people rip on Michael Jordan's baseball ability. But guys who coached and played in the major leagues said this guy had the ability to figure it out. And once it clicked, he would have taken off.
Mm-hmm.
That's not quitting. So Michael comes back, wins 3 championships again, and is given the business opportunity of a lifetime. He's not only offered to play for the Washington Wizards, but at the end of your career, we will give you partial ownership in the group. There's not a person alive. There's not a person out there that would say, nah, I'm good. I don't want ownership in a company. I mean, that Nick Wright would take that. If another station came to him and said, look, you can come on our network for a couple of years, and at the end, you'll be a partial owner of our network, he would sign on the dotted line immediately.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
I mean, this is how these people think. This is how these people think. Oh, they gave up. That Michael quit. No, quitting is when you're at the bottom and you can't come back. Michael left
and you can't figure out how to come back. And you can't figure out how to come back.
Quitting is when you can't win with the team, so you go to another team. That's quitting. Quitting is when you get beat at the Boston Garden and rip your jersey off before you even get off the court.
Mm-hmm.
That's quitting. So again, Nick Wright, you're everything we aspire to be as YouTube guys. We want the opportunities that you have. You've done the most with them. Now just learn English. Learn what words mean, because you cannot say these things and not expect to get blasted on it. So Nick Wright, I'm gonna stay on him because he doubles down. He doubles down on this, and he says, "Well, look, Michael didn't win his first playoff game till he was 25. What's up with that?" Hey, dumbass. Michael had to go to college. He didn't start right away. He didn't get in the league till he was 23.
Stupid.
I mean, and not to mention, Michael won a championship before he was 20. When he was 21 years old, he won a championship. It just happened to be at the college level.
1982.
I mean, these guys, they make up rules. They make up rules.
They move the goalposts.
And they say, it's by age. Well, you know what? LeBron didn't win anything till his 3rd year either. And LeBron wasn't scoring 63 on the greatest team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing. He said, "Oh, well, look, how come if Michael was so great, how come there were all these dynasties like the Celtics and the Pistons during Michael's run?" And I was like, because his run hadn't started yet.
Right.
And not to mention, you're talking about two out of the top 3 greatest teams of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The 86 Celtics are the greatest team ever put together. 4, count them, 4 Hall of Famers on the court at once. They had Bill Walton coming off the bench. That's how good that team was. And then the bad boy Pistons are probably the 3rd best team.
Mm-hmm.
With the 2nd best team, the 97 Bulls. So to sit there and say, well, the competition wasn't as good, he only lost to the 2 best teams to ever play. And then he finally came back and beat the Pistons, and once he beat them, they were never able to beat him again.
1991.
I mean, these are the kinds of things. But he says, oh, No, nothing like that. Nothing like that happens on LeBron's watch. Really? How's Golden State doing? Because they're pretty much a dynasty.
Mm-hmm. And they beat LeBron 3 times.
How about the Spurs? The Spurs put up. They were a dynasty with Duncan, and then they continued it with Kawhi, and they beat LeBron both, and both of them beat LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you can't just move the goal. You can't, like you said, move the goalpost. If you say it about one guy, you have to apply it to the others. It's ridiculous.
And most of these bronzexuals don't apply it to others. They just don't.
No.
Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, brought to you by Gatorade Zero, the choice drink of hydration of yours truly. Listen, if you need to get hydrated, Gatorade Zero is what you need. Look up Gatorade online. We continue with Chris Dietz and more bronzexual confessions as he attacks Nick Wright. Continue, please.
Well, I'm done with Nick Wright because we have bigger fish to fry.
All right, who we got to fry?
Because now we have to go after the king himself. And Cole already took some of this. But if your blood does not boil when you hear LeBron James saying, if I were Brittany Griner, I would think about not coming back to America.
Yeah, you sent me that last night and my blood did boil.
And I sent it to you because I had gotten it right as I was walking into work. It came across me and I went, "Oh my!" I'll tell the audience exactly what I told you. He cannot be this stupid.
Yeah,
he cannot be this dumb to say this. First off, not that I think that's something LeBron wouldn't say. That's clearly in LeBron's mentality. But here's the dumbest part of this. The whole thing with Brittany Griner is she's trying to get back to America. So why are you telling the Russians? Why are you telling everybody she shouldn't even want to come back? You're undermining the process, you moron. You're making it so that they go, "Oh, she won't want to come back? All right, well, we'll just keep her here." That's what you're doing. You're not helping the situation, you're hurting it. And for everybody that's out there, and you know, we talked about this, Cole talked about this before. Brittany Griner broke the law. Yes, she did. She broke the law in Russia. However, she is an American citizen. We need to get her back, not because she's Brittany Griner, not because of any of the things in front of her name, not because she's a woman, not because she's a gay woman, not because she's a black woman. We need to get her back because she's American. That's why we need to get her back. So for anybody out there that says, "Well, she made her bed, she needs to lie in it," no, that's not how we work. Our country gets people back. We don't let our people suffer. So we're going to get her back. There's no question about it. It's just going to be how. And they're working that out behind the scenes. But they can't work behind the scenes if LeBron James is out in the middle of it saying, "Well, I don't think she wants to come back because America's such a terrible place." And then on top of it, on top of his stupidity, on top of just making the comment, which is dumb to begin with, he tries to backtrack it and says, "I wasn't talking about our great country. I was talking about her feelings." Anyone who reads that comment is not going to be thinking, "Oh, he must be talking about how Brittany Griner feels." No one is thinking that. I mean, this is what I talked about a week ago when I said the number one reason I hate LeBron James is he doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut. I mean, I know why they went to LeBron. I know why LeBron brought up this topic because he was dragged into it by the coach who said, if this was LeBron James, things would be different.
Mm-hmm.
It immediately makes him a lightning rod, and everybody wants to get something from him. I understand that.
Yeah.
But LeBron, you got to be smarter than that. You got to say, look, I know you guys want me to comment. Let's wait till she comes home. Let's work on getting her home first. Then we'll worry about her. That's how a mature person handles it. But a person like LeBron can't see past a moment to take a shot because he always wants to take a shot at America. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter that he makes millions of dollars here. It doesn't matter that he has the freedom to say that. And the next direct question to LeBron James, and I know this was on the shop, so nobody's going to question him on the shop. They're just going to let him do what he wants. Nobody's going to stop him and say, LeBron, where should she go? Where's the better place for her to go? If she doesn't want to come home to America, because I guarantee you it's not in a Russian prison. I know what American prisons are like. I can imagine what Russian prisons are like. And I imagine they're about 20 times worse, especially for foreigners in a war situation.
Mm-hmm.
So LeBron James, and this is not the first time LeBron James has stuck his foot in his mouth. I mean, telling the people of Texas that he knows better than them that they need to vote for Beto O'Rourke. Whoops. What happened? Ted Cruz crushed Beto O'Rourke. Whoops. What next? LeBron James steps out, backs Hillary Clinton. How'd that work out for you?
She got smashed.
LeBron James opens his mouth about Trayvon Martin before the Trayvon Martin verdict.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that work out? LeBron James is one of the first people in hands up, don't shoot. A week later, it never happened. Video proves it never took place. This is a guy who cannot control himself. He cannot stop saying stupid things. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't say anything. And don't make a hard situation worse. I can't. Like I said, I cannot believe I couldn't believe he said it. I thought it was one of those John Morant things where it was like he didn't really say this. This isn't real. I was saying you can't be this stupid. Like LeBron's not dumb. He just says stupid things. He needs to be smarter. And this we talked about the Brittany Griner situation yesterday, but so we don't have to rehash it. But this is it's a tricky situation. There are diplomats involved. There are pieces in play that have to be moved. You can't just fly over, pick her up, and bring her home. It's not how this works. You have to go through channels. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a week. This stuff takes weeks, sometimes months to get settled.
Then why are these people so impatient to get her home, not knowing that there's a process to this?
Because they want everything instant. We said it, we want it now. That's not how the world works. It's just not. And it's funny because these people, they say, well, America's not doing they're not doing enough. You know who's in charge of doing this? Joe Biden, the guy you put in office.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, you were on the stump for Joe Biden. So by saying he's not doing enough, you're basically saying he's inept. I mean, just think before you speak about what your words mean. Your words are going to hurt the cause, not help it. Like, it pains me because LeBron could be such a good influence. And every time he just says the wrong thing at the wrong time. Like, this isn't the time for that. The time for that is when she gets home. Once she gets home, we can talk about everything. We can talk about how long it took. We can talk about, the process. We can talk about why she was even had to go over there. That's all you need to do is just say, it's not the time for this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get her home. It would have accomplished more. You would have said less and accomplished more. But again, this is LeBron James. This is who he is. And it baffles. It's just baffling. Because this is a guy who owns a school. Like, how about you go sit in on your school classes? Because you could learn a whole lot about how the world works. So it's sad.
This is the same guy whose wife was caught on camera smoking in a non-smoking facility. Of course, I'm talking about Progressive Field. She got busted on national TV smoking a blunt.
And again, this is a guy who said, I don't even think she would want to come back. Well, really? She wouldn't want to come back to a country where most places, I mean, I know there are a few down south that are still fighting this, but most places in this country, marijuana, you're able to smoke marijuana openly. But Brittany Griner shouldn't come back here. She should go somewhere else. None of it makes sense. None of the statement makes sense. The whole statement doesn't make sense. And I was I got sent the video, and I will shout out Ryan at Sports Wars, who had his take, and his take is absolutely right. LeBron, if you don't like it, you have millions of dollars. Go anywhere you want. Like, if you don't like being in America, you have millions and millions of dollars. Anyone else would be glad to take you. Not that I'm telling him to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like it so much, you have the opportunity. You have the millions of dollars. You can go live anywhere you want. You could buy an island if you want. So don't sit here and chastise all the people. There are people that are putting in people who are putting in hard work to try to get this accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And you go and undermine it for no reason other than to prop yourself up. It makes no sense.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. And that's Chris's blunt sexual confessions.
But this is the world that we live in. And it's a world where I know Cole asked the question, why do bronsexuals act the way they do? Because they can't get their guy all the way to the top, so they have to bring the top down. They have to attack Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They have to attack Jordan's record. They have to attack Kobe's character. They have to attack these guys because they can't bring LeBron up above them. They have to bring them down to his level. That's how these people act. And that's how they act. That's why we did the show. That's why we did the show 2 weeks ago where we talked about Star Wars. Star Wars can't prop up their new characters, so they have to destroy the old characters so people will accept the new ones. That's not how this works. You have to create stuff that's better. LeBron, you have to be better. And he hasn't been better. He hasn't been better for 20 years. He's been the same player since day one as he is right now.
And that's not going to change no matter how hyped he gets. That's Chris's Bronsexual Confessions.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of the Bronsexual Confessions.
Tomorrow, we're going to have Deets on to talk some football, including Deshaun Watson and the possible suspension or non-suspension that he will receive. Deets?
Supposedly, it's supposed to be coming out either today or tomorrow.
We will find out. We will definitely talk about it.
I mean, you think about it. They concluded on Monday, and they haven't given us something fishy's going on here.
Yeah, we're going to find out all that fish either today or tomorrow. Thanks, Deets. Appreciate it. He'll be back tomorrow to talk some more stuff with us. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, I'll say it again. Roger Craig for the Hall of Fame and some other notes and NHL free agencies going on today, too. Talk about all that and more as we come down the stretch here on the Wacky Wednesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
LeBron James is trash as a basketball player.
Wow.
I will say that one more time.
You said it so easily.
I've been saying it for 20 years.
It just came fluidly out of your mouth, like it just flowed like waters of the of a fall, just dropping off a cliff.
Oh, you mean this sentence right here?
Quote.
LeBron James as a basketball player is pure, unadulterated trash and has been for 20 years.
Close quote.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Official SIT Morn is the ID that you need, and I have someone I want y'all to meet. This is Lucy. You may often hear me talk about Lucy. You want to look at the camera, Lucy? Oh, Lucy. She wanted some snuggle time with Daddy during the commercial, didn't you? Didn't you? See? You okay now? You all right? You were just wondering what I was doing for the last 2.5 hours, didn't you? Didn't you? So my little terrier, my little Lucy, my little furry daughter. Okay, get down. Get down. Oh, careful. There you go. Had to share that. Had to share that. Sick Diggy in the comments. LeBron James is an obvious narcissist. He's impulsive and looks for any opportunity to make it about him. Yeah, you got that right. You got that right. We got a whole bunch of comments from right here. Crover01. When Stacy was here, thank you. Did this one. Self-care is an important aspect of mental health care. You got that right. By the way, never count out a camel. They're noble and intelligent creatures. Yeah, not to mention persistent creatures. Ryan McCarthy can confirm. I work with nurses and they'll say the same thing. Listen to your body and get extra medicine when absolutely necessary. Yeah, I just kicked cancer in the ass and I know I'm going to have a lot of medicine coming my way. Sick Diggy about Michael Jordan. He retired twice on top with a championship ring. And he also says to sum it up, Nick Wright is a hypocrite, big time hypocrite. He's a hypocrite against Michael Jordan. He's a hypocrite against the Golden State Warriors. I got a few things to say about Nick Wright. Since when was LeBron James ever relevant? Well, LeBron sexuals make him relevant. LeBron sexuals make him relevant. About Brittany Griner, biggest mistake was flying to Russia during heightened tension between Russia and NATO over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Nothing but truth there. If it were LeBron James instead of Brittany Griner, Russia would have turned his trial into a huge media fiasco. James would have been utterly humiliated and dragged around for a long time. Yep, that is the truth. And I just showed this one about him being an obvious narcissist. Who remembers Kenneth Bay when he was detained in North Korea? I definitely remember that. Bronsexuals personify the meaning of fanatics. Yep. Truth there. The mind of a bronsexual is warped beyond logic. Beyond logic and also warped beyond description. And the Playmakers was listening while working on the rankings. Go check out the Playmakers blog, folks. His top 5 running backs are out right now. Who's Nick Wright? Just kidding. Yeah. And about Lucy, Daddy's girl. Yeah. I'll tell you what, when I first met Lucy, the first time Jody brought her up to Michigan City when we were going to head down to Terre Haute for a weekend. Lucy jumped out and sniffed me and then recognized me and started jumping around, waiting for me to get in the car. And she just gave me this look of, okay, you're cool. I recognize you now. I recognize you when you were with mommy. And of course, it's Jody, my wife. And since then, Lucy has been attached to my hip, which is not a bad thing at all. That's Daddy's girl. That's my Lucy. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Back tomorrow, Chris Dietz will join me to talk all things Deshaun Watson. And as I look at my notebook here, Clark Monroe will join me at 9:35 to talk NHL free agency. 10:05, Andy Dorf. And at 10:35, we'll have Chris Dietz back to talk all things Deshaun Watson because supposedly a ruling is coming down on his suspension or non-suspension. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Till then, have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. And I'm planning to buy 2 vehicles this fall. Bye, y'all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.